Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Rossa Amita Trimaulita and I'm from 5PD class, English Department, State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya. Today I would like to deliver my presentation for research methodology course with the title Interpretation Data. So before I start my presentation, I would like to show you my table of contents. There are 3 subtopics that I'm going to discuss in this opportunity. The first is about the definition of data interpretation. The next is summarizing data. And the last is displaying result. So let's start with the first subtopic and with the topic what is data interpretation. So data interpretation is the process of reviewing data through some predefined processes which will help assign some meaning to the data and arrive at a relevant conclusion. And the data interpretation, this refers to the task of drawing inference from the collected facts after an analytical or experimental study. And we can move to the second subtopic about summarizing data. For summarizing data, there is prevalence. And prevalence is a proportion of the population that has certain characteristics in a certain period of time. And generally, this is determined by randomly selecting a sample in small group from the entire population with the aim of the selected sample being representative of the population. And also, prevalence usually expressed as a percentage, for example, 5% or 5 people out of 100. And also, in summarizing data, we have to know mean. Mean is the measure of central tendency, and it provides the average value of several pieces of data. And mean is calculated by dividing the sum of the values by the number of values in a data set or dividing the amount of data by the number of data. Here is the formula of the mean. So we can see that here's x, it's the average, and for the sigma xi, this is the amount of data we divided to the number of data. And there's also median. Median is the measures of central tendency too, and this is provide the midpoint of a set of value. And also here's the formula of median. For median, this is it's a little bit different to odd data and the even data, or the data ganjil and data genap. So let's see the example of median here. For the odd data, we can see that, for example, the data is 8, 7, and 9. And the first step, we can sort into numerically 7, 8, and 9, and we can know easily that the median is 8. Like the definition of median, median is the midpoint. So we can know that the midpoint of this data is 8 because this is odd data. And for even data, for example, for data 2, 8, 3, 4, 1, and 8, we do the same step. We sort into numerically 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 8. And since the number of observed data is even, which is 6, we can took the 3 and 4 value in the data. Third and fourth is number 3 and number 4. So the median is 3 plus 4. We can divide it by 2, and we can get the median 3.5. That's the simple example of median. And we can continue to displaying the result. Okay, maybe some of you know about the visualization, right, in displaying data. Um, for visualization in displaying data, why we should use the visualization in dataset? Because visualization is one of the best practice of data interpretation, uh, and visualization make it your data more easy. Okay, here's the some reasons. The first is the visual method support the information and your point is stronger than just describing it. This is true because when we do some visualization, your point is more stronger is stronger than just describing it. For example, um, the displaying data can be the proof or empirical evidence for your information or your data, and it is make it easy for a layman to understand the data. Of course, because maybe not all because not only the person related to your or your audience or your listener, it's not the scientific person. Maybe there's a layman. So when you do some visualization in the dataset and using visualization technique, it can be easy for them to understand your data. And also, this is improve the message or the information you convey. And the last, encourage people to view your data as it provides a visually appealing summary of the data. And of course, when you do some visualization, it will be attract people attention so they can view your data more focused. And for displaying data, there are some techniques in displaying data or for visualization. The common one is tables. So tables are used to represent statistical data by placing them in rows and columns. And tables provide the advantages and disadvantages. For advantages, easy visualization of statistics, poignant description of data, the provision of a summary of the overall work, and the interest people show to graphics over words, and can contain large data sets, and helpful in comparing two or more similar things. And also, good for when exact number need to be presented. And the disadvantages of tables, they don't give detailed information and may be time consuming. Of course, when the data is large, maybe it's time consuming to make tables. And also, here's the example of tables, prevalence tables about public school and private school. Okay, let's move to the second technique. It is grabs. Grabs is there's bar and also line. I will discuss bar first, and later I will discuss the line bars. Line grabs. For the bar grabs, we know that grabs is interpret the relationship between two or more variables using rectangular bars, and the rectangular bars is can be drawn either vertically or horizontally, and but the common one is vertically, and the graph contains the horizontal axis x, symbol x, and the vertical axis symbol y. And also um, for the bar graphs, it also provides the advantages and disadvantages. For the advantages, it helps to summarize a large data and can be easily understood. And also, for the disadvantages of bar graphs, it may require additional explanation, and it can be easily manipulated, and it doesn't properly describe the dataset. Okay, here is the example of bar graphs. The first is simple bar graph, and the second is group bar graph. And for simple bar graph, as it names, this is the simplest bar graphs. For bar graphs, it used to describe the continuous variables along with the one discrete value. And for group bar graphs, this is used to show more information about variables that are subgroups of the same groups, with each subgroup bars placed side by side like in histogram. For the example that I took, this is for uh, the average CGPA of students in the mathematics and static and statistic department of an institution. And this is stacked bar graph and segmented bar graphs. The number 3 and number 4 is also the example of graphs too. And for stack bar graph is a group bar graph which with its rectangular bars stuck on top of each other rather than placed side by side. And also for segmented bar graphs, uh, stuck this is stack bar graphs where each rectangular bar show 100% of the dependent variables. And also in displaying data techniques, if the visualization technique, there is a pie chart. For pie charts, is a circular graph used to represent the percentage of occurrence and of variables using sectors. And it also provides the advantages and disadvantages. For advantages of pie chart, this is visually appealing, best for comparing small data samples. And for the disadvantages, it can only compare small sample size and unhelpful with observing trends over time. Here's the example. Okay, the correct one is here, because when we make a pie chart, this is important to value labels value labels value labels so it make them easier to read, like this 9.3% and others. And also there is a line graph for the advantages, great for visualizing trends and change over time. It is simple to construct and read. And the disadvantages, it cannot compare different variables at single place or time. And here's the example of line graphs. There is simple line graph and line graphs with markers, and also stack line graphs. And I think that's all for my presentation today. That's all of my material and that I can convey on this good opportunity. I'm sorry if there are many mistakes, and thanks for your attention. I end this presentation with wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for watching.